Hi, I'm Terry from 702 Shooter. We're putting together the Shooterest. Okay, we're starting with the tools. The instructions didn't give us an idea of what tools we were looking for, so we kind of figured them out. I've got a 13 millimeter and a 11 millimeter socket. I've got the adapter for my drill so that I can use the sockets, and then I've just got a Phillips head. I'm only going to use the drill to snug all the bolts, and then on the final tightening with the ratchet. The pieces have been separated out. One thing that we did notice upon unpackaging was that the newspaper was stuck to a lot of the pieces. It appears that they're painted, not powder coated. Understanding that it's a startup company, obviously you want to keep your risk to a minimum, but it was just something that we had noted during unpacking. Also, as we were assembling this, realized that I need to get a 9/16 so I can tighten these bolts to the uprights on both the tables and the chairs. So add a 9/16 socket to your list of tools. It took us about 40-45 minutes to put it together. A number of notes that we had made. We understand that this is the lower end bargain model, but we don't think that some of the materials really going to hold up, primarily the seats and possibly the rests themselves, the table portions of themselves. Wasn't that hard to put it together. Took a little bit of figuring out. The actual work time is probably 15 minutes once we figured out which piece goes where. The one thing that's kind of nice, and it'll be interesting to see how it holds up, is the brass catcher that's in between the left shooter and the right hand shooter. The other thing that we noticed is, based on the configuration, it's going to be hard for a shorter shooter. This is a standard half-ton Chevy truck. The hitch height is pretty standard. We didn't modify anything. I don't have a lift kit or anything along those lines. It's a stock configuration. And it just seems as though this is the lowest that it's going to go right there. Your shorter shooter is going to have kind of an issue. As far as the distance goes, it's not that tough to adjust. You just unscrew that, slide it forward, and you're golden. Okay, adjusting the seat itself is these two screws here, raise and lower. When you get it to the desired height, you drop the bottom one, and then tighten that back down for additional support. So it's not necessarily going anywhere, but the material itself, as you're sitting on the stool, me personally, I want to lean into it a little bit more. So a majority of the use is going to be right up here. And again, this is kind of flimsy. It's just press board. I suppose you could probably upgrade that on your own, or preferably buy the upgraded kit. All right, we're going to prep this for transport. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the tables, lower the chairs, and try it on a one-person basis to mount it up into the pivot. All you're really doing with this is removing the hitch pin at the center, and then flipping it up on its side, wrapping it over here, and inserting the pin again. That's ideally all that should be needed for transport. Pull the pin. Height-wise, everything should have been pretty stabilized by now. Just gonna pull it back a little bit. You know what? That ain't gonna work with one person. All right, we got this set up. We're just gonna run a couple rounds. I'm gonna run one with a semi-auto on this side and then a bolt action on the other. We're kind of wanted to get an idea of how well it would react with any sort of recoil. This one here, actually both rifles are 223. This one obviously is an AR and semi-auto, which I happen to have won from 702shooter.com, and is my overall favorite. The other one is a rifle that I built for my son. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and just fire a couple rounds. We're not looking for precision or anything. We're just looking to see how well the tables hold up. Looks like the brass catcher's working real well. The one actually fell down to the ground. I do recycle my brass on this, so if I wanted to have something a little sturdier, obviously I could always construct something that would do that. Let's go over and try the bolt action side. so far the table's holding up pretty well. I think that if you notice, I'm pushing down on the back end, and it tends to have some bend on it. Leaning into it, I'd probably recommend a stronger surface, both for the seat and for the table portion. Being that this is Nevada, I don't think that this wood itself is necessarily a bad thing, other than structure or other than rigidity. But if you were in a more humid climate, I think it would absorb all the water that was in the air. For here, I think it'd be all right on a basic, but I would obviously upgrade the materials that they use. Other than that, it's working okay. No real issues.